I just feel like a lot of women have audacity because they'll be over here talking about, that man's a brokey, baby, you a brokey. Like, if all you have to offer is your body, you broke too. And I feel like we live in this prostitution era where I will give you my body because you took me to dinner.
Men lead with their wallet, and they're mad that they caught a whore.
Oh,
sorry, it happens all the time.
This is the longest I've been like this.
What's this? I need clarity.
It's what?
That I've been in a single state of mind.
Like you're a relationship guy.
Yeah, I'm total.
Are you a faithful relationship guy?
A man know more about being in love than a woman. What benefits do a guy like Paul Pierce get from marriage? What's breaking your neck? Mm-hmm. So like, all right.
Nah.
Is that breaking your neck?
Nah, that ain't breaking your neck. Nah, that's like aware. You just looking next to you. That's breaking your neck. Go home. Bye, Roger.
Bye, Roger.
So y'all together, he do this?
Oh, yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much.
That's too much.
Like, how many seconds he get? What if he do this?
No.
This is to taking over the game. All right, everybody. Welcome to Truth After Dark.
Do you think that men or women are more toxic? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Truth After Dark with Azar Farideh and Paul Pierce. How you feeling? Good. Today we have a very special guest with us, an entrepreneur, a speaker, a podcast host of the It's Giving podcast. She is very known for her candid discussions on healing, accountability, and the dynamics of contemporary dating and relationships. Please welcome Dr. Sarah Fontenot.
Ooh, girl, gas me up. Thank you.
I love it. We're really excited to have you. I love your podcast. I love your takes on different things. And I just love how real you are.
Thank you.
And it's funny because today, actually, I saw you go viral on the Baller Alert. Okay.
Oh,
and they were talking about basically how you feel like women who want transactional relationships are brokies. Yeah. And I have a viral clip talking about transactional relationships, actually. Yes. So please explain that.
I didn't hear this. Hold on. Women who want transactional relationships are brokies.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that means.
No, please break it down.
Transactional mean
you need something to get something.
Right. Oh, that's a bar.
Yeah. And I literally talk about this and like, I agree with you. So just break it down a little bit for us.
So I just feel like a lot of women have audacity because they'll be over here talking about, that man's a brokey, baby, you a brokey. Like, if all you have to offer is your body, you broke too. And I feel like we live in this prostitution era where I will give you my body because you took me to dinner. And I just don't subscribe to that whatsoever. But also, I do think that if that's going to be what you're about, because get it how you live it. I'm not here to wrong anybody. If that's what you want to do you, boo. But I will say what's important for me, for the little girls that are looking up to the women that have the Chanel bags and the Bentley trucks and, the Louis Vuitton. And now I have a lot of these things. However, I have businesses, whereas a lot of these other women are laying on their backs. So I just think it's important for them to stop misleading young girls and making them think that this is what I should be shooting for when, baby girl, you don't want nothing to do with this. It's a lot of sweat you don't want to feel.
Woo.
You know what it is? And as a man, this is what I feel like this generation is all about. Since we live in a social media era, females want to show off an image of something they're really not.
Yeah.
So like if a man say, hey, what's up, baby, let's go to Mexico, and he get her Maz bag or woo, and she come back, take flicks with that with some new shoes, and then it looked like she's styling and profiling. but really she only got like 2 or 3 of those outfits, like, and just showing them off.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's making her look glamorous for the next dude who she gonna fool
Yep.
Yeah.
to take her on the next trip, and it's just like a cycle now.
Agreed.
It's like a cycle of now it's like a drug dealer. He start off with a nick, he starts selling pounds, now he starts selling kilos.
Yeah.
And it's just like
A cycle.
a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And she gonna get it one time, make it seem like she cracking, then another dude gonna think she cracking, do the same thing, get more for her.
Yep.
And then it's just like, damn, and now she got no substance to herself. It's nothing to her.
In the great words of Nipsey Hussle, you're like a Coke bottle, but the soda's flat.
Ooh.
Okay? And I think that that's what we're seeing a lot. And I feel like there is a lot of modern day prostitution going on. And I've spoke on it. What do you feel about women who feel like first of all, you're a gorgeous woman. You're smart. You're successful. What are your requirements? Like if someone wanted to date you?
Yeah, so first of all, it's an us thing. That makes 2 of us.
Yes,
so thank
you.
But for me, I need what's real. And I think a lot of women get it twisted because they've heard so much on social media that he needs to make 6 figures, 6 feet tall, 6-pack, and 6 inches, right? But the reality is, how does that make you feel? Outside of physicality, that doesn't do anything for you. So for me, I know what I need personally, and I think it's important for all women to get clear on what they need. I need safety, security, respect, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, openness, and honesty. That's what's most important to me. And I think that a lot of people, because they're looking at, what can I get from this man? It's this entitlement day age. It's this prostitution era where, did you buy me the bag? Did you get me the shoes? If not, no, you don't get any play. When the truth is, and this is for the men at home that are listening, if a woman wants you to spend all your money on her up front, she don't like you. Because no woman that likes you is ever going to, we are almost like, whoa, hold up, babe. You don't got to do all of that when we really like you. And then also women, you should be looking at a man a little bit crazy if all he wants to do is give you money up front, because now there's an expectation here. He wants a return on his investment.
Ooh.
So we just got to be real about what it is and what we're signing up for.
Yeah, and that's what I think about this new generation, because when I see about all these cases and stuff going on, like, this is the thing, because this is the thing where we got to realize you can't enter something based on your money.
Facts.
Like, this is the thing, because guys, is getting richer than ever. When girls is making money, and it start off like, hey, boom, 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 and then you got to keep that up.
Men lead with their wallet, and they're mad that they caught a whore.
Oh,
Sorry, it happens all the time.
Nah, it's
You paying for this woman, it's clear, and then you're upset because you're like, oh my God, she's a hoe. Well, that's what you did. You led with your wallet, and now that's who you
because
have.
you caught feelings.
Yeah, you caught feelings.
You met a girl because you on the road, you flew her somewhere, didn't get to know her, it was fun, and then it just turned into what you thought was going to be love turned into a scandal.
It's a scam. It's scamming. There's dating scammers out here. There's a lot of women that don't even eat unless they go on a date with a man.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's brutal.
Let me tell you one story.
Yeah.
I went out on a date with this girl.
Oh.
And it was a good time, boom, boom. She had a little 1-bedroom apartment, her kid. Because I asked, oh, y'all live here? I got my kid over here, boom, boom. So then we didn't go out again. So until a week later, she was like, this is the next text. She said, when you taking me shopping?
Oof.
That was the next text.
Date?
After one date. And I was just like, damn, I was just thinking that too. And never talked to her again.
Period.
That's what I said.
As you should.
Period.
I think that's ridiculous.
That's so ridiculous. How do you have the audacity to ask that, though?
But you know what, though? Women are getting more and more bold.
Yeah.
Like, the stories that I'm hearing is you think that you met somebody, and then a week later they're like, oh my God, my tires went flat.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, it's the 9th and you're talking about your rent.
Yeah.
Your rent was just already paid.
Yeah.
You talking about next month's rent. People
Yeah.
are just getting more and more bold. And I think it's because we live in this transactional day and age. But I will say this, and I say this all the time. I feel like for a person to ask for something that they're not qualified for is crazy.
Ooh.
Right? And so I always say, in order to see what you believe you deserve and try to be as real with yourself as possible, maybe ask a stranger. I feel like there are 6 pillars to true happiness, true self-love, true self-worth. And that is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and energetically. So what I want people to do, if you're listening to this, is make a bar graph. Make a bar graph of all 6 of those things separately. And on a scale of 1 to 10, rank yourself. You cannot use a 7, and then add all of those numbers up, divide it by 6, that's your average. So now to be clear, if you ain't been to the gym in a year or 6 months, you are not an 8, okay? Don't give yourself a 6.
Yeah.
If you don't eat right, and you don't go to the gym, don't give yourself no 6. If you know you haven't talked to God in 10 years, don't give yourself an 8 or even a 6. If you know that you go off when somebody cuts you off in traffic, you go off on Miss Susie at the work office, if you know you have no emotional regulation emotionally, do not give yourself a 6. So when you look at your numbers, you add them up, you divide it by 6 to get your average. If you're a 4 or a 5, stop asking for a 10.
Ooh, that is a bar.
All right, hold on. I want to do this test.
Okay.
I'm going to give myself the rank.
Come on, let's
Okay,
go.
physical. Start with physical.
Physical, all right. I'll say like physical.
Can't use 7.
7.
Can't use 7.
Can't use 7.
All right, 8.
Okay.
Okay.
We got 8. Look, I'm going to pull my
Spiritual.
calculator out.
Look, okay, spiritual.
So spiritual. I'm going to say 8.
Okay.
I mean, I prayed this morning. I prayed last night.
Energetically.
Yeah, energy.
Energy.
9.
Okay. Come
Mentality, is that one of them?
Yep.
Okay, mentality.
10.
Oh,
You
I ain't mad at that.
Okay.
10? Mentality?
emotion is which
We got emotionally, physically,
So emotionally
spiritually.
is something different. Like,
yeah, now
I
emotionally
don't know how to
range
range-
yourself.
range. I don't know how to range emotion.
Now,
like,
how
'cause
emotionally mature are you?
How emotionally aware and regulated are you?
Yeah.
How emotionally vulnerable are you? How emotionally open are you?
And if you give yourself a 10, you're
5.
lying. Okay.
Okay.
I
that's
can
fair.
go with that.
That's honest. I
Yeah.
can appreciate that.
5.
And then
spiritually.
no, we did spiritually.
that.
We did emotionally, physically,
Physically,
spiritually.
energy-
Financially.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, shit, I'm not no billionaire, but I can do what I want.
Well, the top 1% of America is $437,000
Year.
a year.
Oh.
So, yeah. So if you're in the top,
He's 10. Give him a 10. Give him a 10.
I'm just saying, okay,
Yeah.
so 10, this equals 50 divided by 6 equals 8.3.
Okay.
You are an 8, you are more than welcome to have 8. But to be honest, what's funny is because you are a 10 financially, there are so many women that if that's all you had, they think that's enough.
Oh, and he's 6+ feet.
Right.
And you're 10, and he's a celebrity.
Dang.
So, hey, you could have it all. if
Is
you
it
wanted
hard
to.
dating for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So,
This is the longest I've been like this.
What's this? I need clarity.
she's like, well, like this, what?
That I've been in a single state of mind.
Like you're a relationship guy.
Yeah, I'm total.
Are you
I've
a
been-
faithful relationship guy?
That's not a fair question.
Why?
Because like the thing about
Why?
like faithfulness go 2 ways, and then faithfulness is like what you make it.
Well, I want to get your
Like
opinion.
no, but look.
Okay,
This is
go
the
ahead.
thing. No, this is the thing. Let me finish though.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I've done some things that's you shouldn't do in a relationship,
Okay.
but it wasn't just out of like lust.
Okay.
It was out of lack of what I wasn't getting in a relationship.
You felt
too.
neglect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was like, and it was talked about.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
Meaning you were expressing you were
Yeah,
lacking these
for
things.
sure.
Okay.
but I feel like, and like, cause I've been in a 14, I've been in a 9, and I've been in a 3.
Dang.
So like, you know, I'm pretty having long relationships. You know, it ain't like when I'm in it, I'm in it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like stuff be happening. And I really think like sometimes the kids kind of like, it put a like, cause you don't prepare for kids. You know what I'm saying? Cause you like the relationship how it is when you in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you like what you fell in love with. And then kids come, the something else get in the way of that love because the love spread now to the kid. So now instead of getting 100% of love, you getting like 50% of it now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
another
that
kid
makes
come,
sense.
now you might be getting 20% of it. When you was like, damn, like I was the guy.
Yeah.
And so now I gotta compensate and deal with other, and it's not wrong because, you know, other love came into the world. But then it messes up your mental, like, damn, this is why I fell in love with 100. But now I went from the 100 to the 50 to the 20.
Damn.
It's like, damn, I'm over here. Like, damn, now I'm over here watching movies by myself.
Damn.
Now I'm over here on the couch next to the fireplace by myself. Why, you know, that's the reality of it, because if you look at it, all relationships, a lot of times men will tell you that, like, kids, like, kind of like put a wedge in between things because the things you was getting before that, you ain't getting that. Now you ain't coming home to no sex. You ain't coming home to no meal. You ain't coming home, I'm tired. Like, you know, and you gotta, as a man, you gotta mentally, it ain't no book on this.
Yeah, you.
Because I didn't see that coming. I just thought like a family would grow us closer, you know, and it's just, you gotta wrap your mind around this is gonna be what it is, but there's no book telling you. There's no movie telling me this. And so it's just like, damn, and then think about this, being a sports player or celebrity or whatever you do, you get all this attention from so many other outlets. And it's like, you ain't getting attention where you want to get it from. It's just like, damn, like I'm getting attention over here. This sound good. This look good. This little shiny thing over here, this is attractive. And it's giving me the attention.
But that goes into what you said, because I heard you say before you feel like weak people cheat.
Yep. I think cheating is weak.
Can you expand on
So,
that?
so tell me, how would you deal with that?
Well, I think it's easier when you're a man with resources, because I honestly feel like most times, especially when women become mothers, and also let me just say thank you for your transparency, because I know for a fact that there are so many men that feel the same exact way as you, where you lose your wife or your girl as soon as they have children. Why? Because they become a whole different person, but they have to. So the old version of them is no longer the version that you'll ever know again, because that person died in pregnancy or in childbirth, right? They're a whole new, they've been born into something all new along with the children. But how do you get through that? Most women are tired because they don't have any help. A lot of the times, you know, people say that I'm pro-man inside of what I say, but I'm just pro-logic. And the truth is, there are a lot of women that are emotionally exhausted because I don't think men take into account the level of emotional labor that goes into running a household. Like, especially of feminine women, because we are so intuitively paying attention to the details and the gaps in the household that we're constantly seeking what is the need that you have. Well, if we're seeking your needs and now we're seeking the children's needs, and I forget all about my needs, and oh my God, this person has to eat. Hey, these bills over here have to get paid. Oh my God, the house is a mess. Oh, I have this party coming up. Oh my God, I'm still working. If they're even still working, there are so many different things that are put onto a plate where it's just straight overwhelm, right? And so I think that for a couple, number one, you have to understand that your relationship will never look the same. But this is why I believe, and I'm not a mother yet, but when or if that is the decision or the road that we choose to go down, then the truth is, I need help. I need all hands on deck. I need a nanny. I need a night nurse. I need help. And it's not to say that they're going to raise my children, but I know women in my family that are like breaking down because they couldn't even take a bath because they couldn't leave their children, right? I know women that are eating the leftover snacks from their kids' lunch, like the crusts from the sandwiches, because they didn't have time to cook anything for themselves because all they're doing is taking care of a child. And I also think for the ladies, you have to accept help. Because sometimes we feel like, no, it's only me. This is my child. And sometimes it's not even your baby anymore. You know, it's not even your husband's kid anymore. This is my kid. I bear this child. I gave birth to this child. I need to take care of this child. No one can take care of this child like me. Okay, I hear that, but you're losing yourself inside of the child. And so that has to be okay to have a conversation around, where you don't lose yourself in your children. Take the help. Outsource what you can. Please stop taking exhaustion as a badge of honor. There's no badge of honor for being exhausted, overwhelmed, overstimulated. In fact, you're just mean and surly at the house. We tired of you too, you know? So if you've got to learn to outsource certain things, and even if you are a person that you have a tighter budget, right? If you do the math, let's say you spend $20 a day. I think that's pretty, how much you spend a day on food?
Maybe, yeah, 20,
20, 30,
$30.
40,
yeah,
50.
meal prepping and stuff if you're like cooking.
Yeah,
But
so
like, yeah.
Like $20 is
Yeah,
pretty easy
yeah,
to spend,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, that's $600 a month,
Yeah.
right? You could cut it in half, put $300 of that in the stock market so you can actually start to invest in something. Take that other $300, chop that in half, get a housekeeper that can come once a month, and that other $150, go buy some meal prep. You don't even got to prep the meals. So now with $600, you've just released yourself of so many things. Now instead of spending an hour at night cooking in the kitchen, you can freaking sit with your husband and snuggle by this fireplace like you were saying.
All right.
Let me say this because.
No.
Okay, go.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Well, I just want to say one quick word, though. I want to say this, and then you go ahead. I want to say I love the fact that you said, I'm going to need help, but it doesn't take away from this is my child. I think a lot of women are afraid, like, if I'm accepting all this help, I'm not raising my child.
Right.
And that's not the case.
Right.
You can still raise your child and have help. It's still your child.
Yes.
So I appreciate you saying that because I think that's the fear of a lot of women. So I just wanted to say that. Go ahead.
All right. So now we're talking about guys in my position.
Yeah.
You're getting all of that.
Yeah.
You're getting a chef. You're getting a house cleaner twice a week. You're getting not maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 nannies. So why is it that people that provide that in my position, I think the divorce rate is more like 80, 90%. We giving that. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So you said do all of these things and everything will be cool. Nah, do all those things and things get worse. Because amongst the 1% is a higher percentage than the others.
So I have an answer to that because I'm talking about what the woman can do for herself and what most people, because the majority of people are not in the 1%, but where a lot of the 1% miss is the emotional connection, the emotional vulnerability, the compassion, that the fact that this woman doesn't feel like herself, her body doesn't do the same things that it used to do. She doesn't even feel sexy anymore in the bedroom. So it's like, are you helping her on this journey to her new self?
Yes.
So it's easy to get rid of those things, but when we're talking about getting out of the things so that woman can have more time and not be as overly stimulated and overwhelmed, now we got to get into the conversation of how are you making me feel as a woman? Are you getting dismissive because I'm frustrated?
Ooh.
You know, are you now getting what is it when you're annoyed because I'm tired? Or are you the one that's like, baby, I ran you a bath? You know, are you still touching her on the small of her back? Are you depositing money in the sexy bank? Which means if you ain't talked to that girl all day, other than a text message talking about the kids or talking about work or talking about whatever, by the time you come home, you ready to get it, she's at 0, you're at 100. You haven't deposited any money in the bank.
Right.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
She's 100% right.
Because that's, I threw, back and you threw back exactly what.
That's 100% where
That's
it's
100%.
lacking. Yeah,
No,
I
that's
agree.
100%. But see, this is the thing. Men have to learn that too, because we just feel like the kings and everything should run through us, and we don't take an account to where it's like, damn, take back and listen and watch to see like what your woman going through, and like, because I heard that. I heard everything you said, and I didn't get that. And that's why probably mine didn't work. Because then it started turning into, it's just everything's about you. Me, you. Like, and I didn't get it at first, but like, I started to get it, and those were the things that came up.
And I think that ties into what you said about weak people cheating.
Yeah.
Because if you're really adamant about understanding what's going on within your relationship, then maybe you wouldn't have to outsource and go outside of it. And then,
instead of leaning into what her needs was, I leaned out.
That's so honest.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And that was my mistake. And I learned from it.
That's so honest.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Instead of leaning, I should have leaned into that.
Thank you for being vulnerable, because men need to hear that.
No, seriously.
and
I should have leaned into that. But you learn, you learn from it, And, you know, a lot of times we hear their needs and get mad instead of leaning into like acceptance of like, damn, we gotta like soften up and listen instead of like, well, this and that. I do this. Like, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I went through.
Yeah. And that is the
I'm getting some
therapy.
Yeah.
We're getting therapy from the doctor. The doctor is
getting some therapy
this
right
is
now.
good though. It's good.
It's so real because people don't understand that. Like, that is the tragic flaw of masculinity and femininity. And I say this all the time. Like, men want men out of women, and women want women out of men. But you don't have a woman, men. You have.
I felt that.
So
that's so good.
You've gotta meet them where they're at.
Get it now.
You know, like how you said, you've got to soften up. That means you've got to tap into that other side of you so that you can pull her out of it. Because this is what men do. Men run down all of the reasons. Most times, if she's like, I'm tired, I have these kids, my body, and then it's like, well, I got this nanny, and I got this, and I have a chef, and then you start running down the track record.
Because he was ready to run it down.
Well, let me tell you. So when you run down the track record, what happens is feminine women, let me just say, femininity lives in the now, masculinity lives via track. So instead of me being able to say, baby, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I got these kids, I don't feel sexy anymore, you come home, I want to give you what you want, but you don't, all of these different things. The man says, but I got you the personal trainer. I got you the maids. I got you the nannies. I don't know why you're so tired. And so now what you've actually done is put that woman into her masculine. Now you've expected that feminine woman to be a man, but when she gets into her masculinity is confrontational. And masculine doesn't like masculine. So now y'all are going head and head, bucking back and forth because you're both in the wrong energy.
I need to see you once a week.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because this is great. Yeah, we're going to need to set up some therapy sessions. This is incredible because I love the way you put things, though. You say it so perfectly, and it's like, it just makes so much sense.
Thank you.
I love it. So, question. I've dealt with this in relationships. I heard you speak on this before, and I just want to get your viewpoint. Like, what do you feel about like people closing off, right? Or like Paul talked about this. We did have a therapist on. He spoke about how like in relationships, if he's starting to like feel too many things, he'll close off or he'll ignore the person and just not respond. You know what I mean? And I've experienced that too. And I know you spoke about that. And you were saying like the silent treatment and ignoring is a form of just, I don't know if you said abuse necessarily, but it's emotional abuse. And I do feel that way. Yeah. Because when I was ignored and stuff, like I cried and I was really emotional because I don't like to be ignored.
Emotional abuse is actual like
that's emotional abuse. I would like the doctor to weigh in, please. I would like the doctor to weigh in. I'm sorry. Let her weigh in. Thank you.
So what I love is
silence is abuse.
Let the doctor weigh in.
It's called stonewalling, actually. So I learned this from Dr. Gottman, and he talks about how there are 4 horsemen where if you see these 4 things in a relationship, you're guaranteed to end. And this study has been going on for longer than 35 years with couples. And he said if you have all 4 of these things consistently in your relationship, he can guarantee down to higher than the 90th percentile whether your relationship will end or not. Like I'm talking 97, 98%, right? And the 4 things are contentment, stonewalling, criticism, and stonewalling, contentment, and deflection, right? Defensiveness. So contentment is where you put yourself above your partner. That's when you start saying, oh, you think you better than they now. Oh, you think you could just get away with that? That's when you literally are kind of condescending. You're being condescending to your partner. Stonewalling is where you shut down. Now, I actually found, because of one of my relationships that I was in, highly effective international speaker. I've been translated in Greek. I've been translated in Spanish. I've spoken all over the world on leadership, self and personal, and business development. And highly effective Sarah, okay, me, was in a relationship where that man was so critical and so defensive that I started stonewalling, shutting down. I have nothing to say. I can't win. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I don't know what to do. And the funny part is it doesn't usually show up until 2 years into your relationship. And I was in this relationship for 5 months. I was on the fast track to just toxicity. Now I later found out narcissistic personality disorder. You know, that's what my therapist said.
Yeah.
I'm not diagnosing them.
Before you go any further.
Yes.
But like, if you feel like there's nothing you can say to this person,
Yeah.
and you stonewall them, then like that goes hand in hand, because I told you how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even get how I felt, because you don't have the compassion to resonate what I'm trying to tell you, what I like or don't like.
Right.
And it's you just one way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to stonewall.
Yes, I agree with you. It's not your fault if you stonewall. Stonewalling it comes because someone else is critical. So that's the third one. They're constantly picking at you. You do this wrong. You don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
You. Or it's when they're defensive. If I try to tell you, baby, I was feeling insecure today because you were looking at that lady a little long. Like, do you still love me? Some people that would make you stonewall would be, why are you always worried about me and what I'm looking at other women for? Don't you know I'm here with you right now? I don't even know why you pressing me like this. That's one way to handle it, which will cause someone to shut down. Or
When you
it
feel
could
like
be
somebody lying to you.
that's a little bit different.
Yeah,
Nah,
so like
man.
this is my thing. There's also the side of like, what if someone is just not willing to communicate and they're shutting down? And
Yeah.
it's like you're not giving the person an opportunity to be like, hey, this is how I feel. Let's have a mature conversation and come to a place where we can understand each other.
Yeah.
Like, give people a chance,
Yeah. I agree with you. And,
Yeah.
and if you don't, it's a sign of emotional abuse, which says that your ego or your feelings are more important than your partner. And if you are more important than your partner, it's not a unit. And if there's not a unit, you're sure to fail. That's why Dr. Gottman says when you have all four of these things inside of your relationship, it is a guarantee to fail.
All four, that's tough.
I mean,
Yeah,
but that's
all four.
that's reality.
That's toxic.
But the truth is, at some point in every relationship, you will see one, maybe two. You'll see them throughout, because we're human at the end of the day. No one is
but
perfect.
all
all four,
is-
you're guaranteed.
yeah.
It's a wrap.
That's 100% all four.
Yeah, it ain't.
Come on now.
Now, oh, go ahead. You had something?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you mentioned a narcissistic partner. And I'm curious because I've been in a relationship where I felt this person was narcissistic. My therapist said that too. And we did couples therapy and the therapist told me. But I will say, I know that the word is thrown around, gaslit, narcissism everywhere.
So true.
And I want to get your opinion on, like, how can you spot that in your partner? How can you really know? Like, and how do you know the difference between being love bombed and really feeling like we just have this connection and we're vibing? Like, what is that difference? Because even me, I struggled with that for a while, and I would love to know your opinion on that.
Yeah. So when I was in this relationship, first and foremost, I would say, where were you at when you started your relationship? Because a lot of our relationships started off as a trauma bond, and we didn't even realize it. So if you were in a space where this happened for me in 2023, we thought that we were going to lose my dad. He had stage 4 prostate cancer. He's still here, praise God. But the doctors are pretty much like, things aren't going well, And then on top of that, so mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, energetically, was the hardest year of my entire life, up to date. At today years old, this was the hardest year of my entire life. And I'm definitely a daddy's girl, right? I'm a mommy's girl and a daddy's girl. I'm a family girl, period.
Yeah.
And what I didn't know was, in my past, I'm like, who wouldn't want to love bomb me? Like, I never understood that. Like, certain things when people say, like, oh, she's a gold digger, like, but who is mining for rocks? Like, I don't understand that. Or if someone is like, oh, she's a pick-me, but like, who doesn't want to be chosen? I don't get it. So the way that people say these words, I was like, I don't get it. So he's love bombing you, but when people love you, they buy you gifts. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
They show you love through affection. I don't understand. They show up and they do all these things, and it's normal. Like, who wouldn't want to love bomb you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty dope. And going back through therapy, I realized that, number one, if you are a successful person in anything, I can guarantee you have narcissistic traits. Okay? It is important for you to think that you are important. It is important for you to buy into the vision of your life. It is important for you to go all in and not hear what anybody else has to say.
Facts.
Now, those are just some of the narcissistic traits, but narcissistic personality disorder is when you live in a delusion, when what the world that you see nobody else sees. And that's when you use tactics like gaslighting to enroll someone else into what you believe, or love bombing to make someone think that you care so much more about them than they really do. But someone that has narcissistic personality disorder, it's all about the conquer. It's about the win. It's not about you. It's how can, and by the way, people think that narcissistic personality disordered people go after like these weak, low self-worth. Oh, no. They go for the highest self-esteemed, self-loving, self-worth people on the planet, because it's like, how bad can I erode this person?
Is that narcissist, or is that just a man trait?
No, I don't think that's a man trait. You think men want to erode women?
Well, we lived, there was Vikings.
Yeah.
They lived to like conquer, and that was like the mentality. That's the mentality of like a mammal.
Yes.
But conquering is
So
different
like,
from.
what is that like? Is that like how is that like a narcissist to me? Because men are here. Men were put on this planet to kind of like rule. Like they were rulers
As you should.
and conquerors, like just from day one.
Yes.
So like, if we not going for like the highest of the highest, how does that make you like something that's kind of like narcissist? Like, where did narcissists even come from?
So there's a difference between conquering, because men do conquer. I'm very clear on that.
Just naturally as men,
But that's not what she's saying.
like you want to win in sports.
Yes.
You want to teach your kid to be the best in school. You want to be like, that's men, what we try to teach in humanity.
Yeah.
So like, if we just trying to like win and say, hey, damn, she bad right there, I want her, and you get her, and then like you like,
Done.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Yeah.
You conquered.
But that's just
I'm
like,
complete.
it's like, all right, we
Damn, that's
Vikings, we just cleaned up this village, we mopped them up. All right, that was cool. We own that village now. We gonna go to the next village.
Yep.
That's like always been like, when you look at like African like civilization. I read these books on these like great tribes and great that just conquered villages and then went on to the next.
Yeah.
And that was always from day one a man's mentality. So now you put it towards like the dating game.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make a man a narcissist then?
So what you're speaking of are just masculine traits.
That's masculine trait, but
That's
that doesn't
different.
make a man a narcissist.
That's not what
No.
she was
And I
saying.
feel like that's thrown around too easily though.
But she's explaining,
feel that. Okay, yeah, go
explaining
ahead,
it
go
to
So someone
us.
that has narcissistic personality disorder doesn't just come to conquer, they want to erode. They want to break down this person. It's not just to get them and smash them and enjoy them, which, by the way, is one of the curses of pretty privilege. A lot of men just want to say they've had you, but not actually keep you and value you. That's a whole other story for a different day. But a lot of men with narcissistic personality disorder, it's a game. It's how much can I take this person who's so strong? How can I make them weak? How can I destroy the way that they look at themselves? Now, this is the craziest part. Most of them don't even know that they're doing it.
Oh,
That's why it is a personality disorder.
damn.
It's not like, let me see how bad I can mess up this person's life. You live in a delusion, and you implement all of the things, the people, the places, the experiences, the things that are going to enforce the story that you want to create.
Yeah.
And you don't even see it. It's a whole different matrix. It's an inverted matrix.
And that will break you down. Like, I've been in that relationship before, and that's like,
So you've been in a narcissist.
yeah. And I didn't realize until I went to therapy, and literally, like, I felt so bad about myself. And if I would be like, babe, you never tell me I look pretty. I tell you when you look pretty.
Oh,
Like, so that's never. Or just like,
what if he was honest?
well, shit, maybe that's how you felt. Then why are you with somebody who you don't feel is attractive? Why are you looking, if I look in the mirror, why are you looking in the mirror like that? Like, just the things, it would be little things that just kept nipping at me like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, oh my God, you're breaking me down
Yeah.
to feel like I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because even with my ex, I was with him and I told him, I was like, I want to start a podcast. And he was like, honestly, I don't think you should do a podcast because like someone might ask you a question and sometimes you're not that sharp. And I just don't want you to not know the answer and feel tripped up about it. I just don't think it would be successful.
Yeah.
Like
So
those
what if
are
that,
the things.
but what if that was the truth?
But it wasn't though. That's the problem.
What
I
if
know
he felt it was. Would you should be
didn't
like, you
feel
know
it
what? Maybe I
was.
should read more and get smarter.
no.
But here, I can relate to that because
Yeah.
the guy that I dated, crazy
Well,
story.
like some people can't handle the truth.
No, I
No.
mean that's also true. Some people can't, but
That's
but
true,
some
but-
people really just try to break you down. Like the guy that I dated used to say to me all the time, like, you really think of yourself higher than you are. I'm the highest. Do you hear me? I will never look at myself lowly. This man one time said to me, we went to a comedy show.
I like that attitude.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't, and not from a space of arrogance,
Yeah.
but I'm God's child. Like
Hello.
you can't talk to me crazy. I
Yeah.
know whose I am, not even just who I am. And we went to a comedy show one time, and we went to see my friend. He's a really big comedian, and we went to a show, and we were in. I'm gonna use a different state, but it was a state like Wisconsin. We weren't in Wisconsin, but it was a state like that.
Okay.
Right? And well, way blacker.
Okay.
So anyway, one of those types of states. And at the end of the show, a girl comes up to me and she's like, oh my God, you're one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Like, you're so pretty. And he turned around and he's like, what did she say? And as she was walking away, she said, I said she's one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. And then she kept walking. And he said, oh, she's probably never been out of Wisconsin.
Yeah. It's that stuff right there.
I was like,
yeah.
first of, he's never pulled a woman like
Yeah.
me in his life.
Exactly.
Like, I chose you because I was down,
Yeah.
you know, and I had to realize that through therapy. And nothing against him, you know, honestly, I really wish that man well, and I hope that he's happy. And I'm so grateful from that experience because I learned a lot about my real strength. I learned a lot about people that do try to have like a mental control over you, people that try to erode you. And I realized I'm kind of incorruptible. That relationship lasted 6, 7 months. It felt like 5 years, but I learned so much about myself. I learned that some of the things, that's the first time I ever know myself to be cheated on. I had never been cheated on before. And it's crazy because, you know, I learned that when men come to you, they think that it's done now because I'm gonna get it off my chest. I'm gonna say it like, oh my God, I cheated. Well, okay, your journey is ending, but mine is just beginning. Mine is beginning because now I have to grieve who and how I thought we were, the perception that we had of us inside of public, the way that you have been out here parading me, and now you've disrespected and humiliated me at this level with the woman that you swore you used to talk crazy about this woman, right? And so for me, he taught me a lot of really beautiful lessons, and I'm grateful for that because that's God's way of showing you, like, no one is above anything. Even though you go through the fire, I won't be burnt, but I might come out smelling like smoke, you know?
Ooh.
And so I needed that experience because sometimes, you know, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. And sometimes I'm yelling at God like, surely you got the wrong house. Like, this is not for me, nor am I this strong. But I needed that for whatever I needed it for. And now it just puts into perspective higher levels of gratitude for my man, if that were to be my thing.
I love that.
So where are you at in your life as far as like relationships? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Like, where are you at? I feel like you know what you want.
I do.
Like,
Yeah, for
is
sure.
that,
Very clear.
is that,
Very
have you
sure.
ever been married?
I've been engaged twice.
Okay,
And a half
engaged
times.
twice.
Me too. Yeah.
You've been engaged twice?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that something you're looking forward to? Or
Yeah.
is that something you want to do?
If it's right.
If it's right.
I'm not in a rush to do it wrong. And I think the reason why I've been engaged twice before was because I was in a rush.
So, like, you got engaged, and how long was the first engagement?
Almost 2 years. Or a year. I was a kid, though.
Okay.
My first time I was engaged, I was 18.
Me too.
Yeah, I was a child.
Second one.
Second one, I was in my late 20s. That was a long time ago.
So how long was that engagement?
About a year.
Okay.
And I called it off right before the wedding. I think it was I want to say probably June. I'm not great with time, but our wedding was September. Like, I had my dress, we had our venue,
What happened?
Well, can I ask, or if you don't want to share?
No,
it's
I don't.
fine.
It's okay. So the second time that I was engaged, first of all, I never should have dated that man. Never should have dated that man. not to say that there's anything wrong with him. I don't want to just be the person that's bashing people, but I really and truly, when I look at alignment with what I want in my life, and it was actually a mentor that taught me, when you look at your partner and you put on your wife hat, meaning like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to be? How do you want to show up as a wife? Write those things down. And then, can I be this way with him? And that's when I was like, oh,
wow.
I can't be this man's wife at all. But
why would you do that to him?
Well, he had it coming, to be honest. But that man,
that's narcissist.
No, let me tell you.
How is that narcissist?
Well,
She
damn.
broke up.
Yeah, I did. But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, Paul. Because this man,
You're stupid.
I had to learn. This man was in so much competition with me all the time. Like, it was like, so at the time, I was in the top 3% of a $9.8 billion company. Okay, I work hard. I've never been a stranger to working hard. You know, like never. I moved to America. I'm like, let's figure it out. I might not come from money, but I come from love. I never came from money, but I built my success, you know? And so I was working hard, and he used to say things. It was really, this was the thing. This was what put it was the last needle on the haystack. This man looked me dead in my face and said, Sarah, you'll never make it. The only way you'd make it is if you married someone who made it. And in that moment, it wasn't the deceit. It wasn't that he was sneaky. It wasn't any of those things. I was like, oh, it was like, we do not have aligned visions whatsoever. Like, you don't even see me for who I have the potential of being. And even if you did, you're trying to dim it down. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And in that moment, I remember I was leaving, and he was like, if you leave, then because I had kept taking off my ring. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. He's like, if you leave, then you really mean it. I mean it. And when I tell you I left, I went to a movie. I went to a matinee, actually. I ate popcorn. I chilled. I went back,
By
and
yourself?
I was like, by myself. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not about to be stressed out. I'm not about to be picked on. And I'm for damn sure I'm not going to be with somebody that doesn't see my value as their wife.
It went from love to hate that fast.
No, I didn't hate him.
Well,
I just
it
loved
was
me
like,
enough.
Like, you about to get married,
Yeah.
right? And so, like, the attitude popped off between y'all two. You know, the argument, whatever, then you did what you did. But, like, there was, like, some animosity.
No, I wouldn't even say it
wasn't?
was animosity.
Like, how can you go from about to get married,
Yeah.
like, that's the top of the love.
But is
Like-
it, or is that the top of indoctrination? And that's the thing. That's the point. But us as women, our whole lives, we've been taught, get married, start a family, get married, start a family. And if you're not mindful of what you actually need for you, anybody can make you a wife, and anybody can give you children as long as they got a good seed. But if I'm after joy, peace, alignment, similar core values, if I'm after the things that matter, then it matters who I put into that place. And so I had to learn, and it took me until I was about 28 years old. I've spent so much money on retreats and healing and learning and all of the things, coaches and therapists and whatever. I had to learn that I was subscribed to the story that I'm just supposed to get married and start a family. And that's why a lot of people are married, but they will never experience what it means to be husband and wife. Because those are two very different things. That God thing, that's a very different thing than I said I do to you. I got a legal contract with you. If you die, I get half. That's a business contract. That's fine, and that's important. But what is the unwavering, unshakableness that even though despite what happens, I'll choose you? I got a question for y'all too. I got eaten alive. So I'm gonna ask you guys a scenario, okay?
I know what you're gonna ask. Go ahead,
Okay,
please.
here we go.
No, but please go ahead.
This is real, because this is what I feel like it's a difference in relationships. So you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean with your spouse and young child. Your spouse and young child get lodged into the water. They are passed out. They are not able to swim. You can only save one. The other one will die. Who are you saving?
Oh, my wife.
Yeah, he already told me about that. You know, it's hard because I'm not a mother, and I don't know what it feels like to be a mother. So I'm like, I don't know, you know, would I be like, these are my children, you know, like I need my children, and my children are younger than my husband, right? Now, if my husband wanted to save me, I know instinctually I would say, save my kids. Let me go. Do not take me over these children. These children are young. They have a whole life to live. Don't take me. But it's hard for me because he has children and he's been a husband. I don't know. I'll be honest.
How old is the kid?
Young toddler.
Like that's crazy.
Like,
How young is the toddler though? Like how young is the toddler?
All right, let's say the toddler's 3. Because in like 15 years, my toddler gonna be gone. My wife's still gonna be there.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If the toddler is like 1 or 2,
that's
I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? I knew this man. I knew this man for 10 years. I barely know this baby. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard because I don't judge either answer. I just don't know
either.
you know what I mean? I'm just unsure.
Yeah, but a lot of people passionately feel like they don't know their kids, but a lot of people don't love their spouses.
Ooh.
They are familiar with and they have settled for, and they are 50-50 roommates that they sometimes get to have sex with their spouses. But I do not powerfully choose this person as my spouse. I personally believe marriage is very different from husband and wife.
Ooh, that gives me chills. I feel like what you said touched on something very real for me, and it's something I've dealt with, and I know a lot of other women dealt with, especially being in this space where we're talking about these different relationships, and people are like, why aren't you single? Why are you single? Why aren't you married? Why? It's like basically you're not shit because you're not married, you're single, or you don't have this. They devalue you as a woman. And I've learned that, and I feel like I was engaged twice and I was in long relationships my whole life. And I feel like it was because a lot of those relationships I was unhappy, but I was taught from my parents who are still married, you stay. Because it's better to be with someone than to be alone. It's better as a woman to be married with children and have the house and the kids and the picket fence and whatever else. Even if you're unhappy, you need to do that.
Yes.
And that's what I was taught. That's what I saw. And I literally was in relationships way far past the expiration date because I was like, you know what? This is what I'm supposed to do.
Yep.
He wants me, so I would be crazy. Like, oh, he's a successful man. He's handsome. He has money. He has this. You're going to leave him. You know how many people operate from a space of desperation when they give advice?
Yes.
They give you advice from a desperate space because they feel like there's a lack thereof for what they can't get or what they can't have. And it's like you're listening to these people telling you, stay, because I would be so happy if I had a man that looked like that or had that money or did this. And it's like, well, I'm unhappy.
Right.
Like,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
And you got to make the money to know it's not everything.
Yeah.
To be fair, because a lot of people be like, oh my God, he had this much. But you know how much I've walked away from?
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
All right. You asked the question. What was the question? Marriage or the wife? What was it again?
Your spouse or your child? Your wife or your child?
No. You say married and a wife is two different things.
Oh, yeah. She said marriage and husband and wife are two different things.
It's only to a woman.
Break that down.
Only to a woman.
Tell me more.
Because when a man marries you, he's marrying you to be your husband, to be married. A woman is marrying you based on what she can, to be married and not a wife, or a wife and not be married. Like it's one or the other for the woman, but for the man it's both every time. Because a man he married you because he wanted to be with you. You married him based on what he can give to you, what he provides, what he brings to the table.
That's good.
Like 100%. Like, damn, he give love, but like if we have kids, can he take care of them? Y'all looking at all these other things. A man marrying you because he love you. Like he looking at like she broke, she cool and do all this other things.
But she cool.
Like you ain't looking at a man, oh, he broke, he cool, but he cool. Like you ain't doing that as a woman. Let's keep it 100 now.
Crazy.
You like, he broke, but he cool as motherfucker. He got a good personality and this and that, and his vibe is cracking. We gonna marry y'all if y'all that.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? Like, so a man know more about being in love than a woman.
That's what I've heard people say a lot. I've heard men say that opinion a lot.
Like, damn, because y'all looking at his situation. We just looking at you for who you are. You might look good and what you give and everything. Like, damn, but like, it has nothing to do about what you provide.
But it does. It's just not monetary.
I mean,
You
dog,
wanna-
a dude can get that from anybody.
No, that's not true. A dude can get anybody to clean the house, they get anybody to cook,
No,
they get
no,
anybody
no,
to
no.
have sex, but having the
So that mean-
emotional
Let her say
and
this.
spiritual fortitude to support you in a way to fill your gaps before you even express them, to make you know that you are the head of household, that you are the king that you are. Every woman, some women might do it because you've given them some money, but a woman that does it because she genuinely cares about you, that's a different kind of woman.
It's
Way
a different
kind of
woman that cares, that they're anticipating your needs. Oh,
Yep.
babe,
So,
I
like
made this
me,
appointment for
what-
you.
what-
I'm doing
what-
this.
what-
I'm
what-
taking you here.
What benefits do a guy like Paul Pierce get from marriage? The motherfucker who made all the money in the world, been successful, been famous, then met every celebrity. What benefit do I get from it?
Well-
Like why should I get married for secure? Like what?
Well,
Tell me.
I guess my first question for you.
How can I tell somebody I could trust them? How can I tell that somebody that's not just getting married for what I bring to the table and all of this? Like, what am I looking for? What do I look for?
What's the answer to that?
I don't know.
Well, then I can't answer you.
I
Because
need to know the
truth is-
answer.
yeah, because if marriage doesn't mean anything to you, then you shouldn't get married.
I'm looking for love. How do I know what true
No,
love
that
look
won't-
like?
That won't work. Love ain't enough. Love is not
looking
enough
for
to stay married.
support. I'm looking for a
That's too
partner.
easy.
All right, so what is that look like? What is marriage about?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm looking for somebody spiritual who loves God, who like I could
not
say
enough.
like what is
Well,
it
let her
then?
talk.
You
Say
said all the 6 things. I didn't name 5 of them.
Right.
You said I'm not looking for
Safety,
that.
security, respect, emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
emotional regulation, openness, and honesty.
So-
I need all 6. Everything else is figure outable. If you are sometimes quick to anger, but you still respect me, I can work with that. If you sometimes get frustrated inside of my frustration because you don't understand me, I'm just a girl. You don't understand me being just a girl, but you still make me feel safe and secure, I can work with that. If you are the type of man that, maybe sometimes your money, this business, this CEO that was about to take over your business, I was about to get a $20 million deal, and then that man dies. So now it's like, holy shit, what do I even do? I don't have this person anymore. Can I cuss? I'm so sorry. I'm not even a
Yes,
cusser.
of
I don't even
course
know how
you
that
can.
happened. But anyway, this person that died, now I got to figure this out. Now I got a whole business that I got to pay for and no CEO to take it over. What do I do, baby? But you still treat me with emotional regulation and openness and honesty. I can work with that. I can work with all of the things that happen inside of our lives as long as my core needs are met from my partner. Now, that being said, there's going to be times where we are human and you're not perfect. No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. So when these 6 things get hit, safety, security, respect, openness and honesty, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, which means maybe you weren't as regulated that day. Can you at some point come back and take accountability for the place where you know that you weren't necessarily the man that we both know you as? And the same goes for women. When you know what you want, everything else is figure outable. And then you need somebody with staying power, because people are weak. They be quitting. They quit. You like somebody's picture on Instagram, I quit.
Yeah.
I think
That's real.
as American men, no matter what race you is, based on like our influences, what we watch on TV, what we glorify, I think we really got to go overseas to find that.
No.
Them traits that you're talking about, because they exuberate all that.
That's wild.
They look at all that.
I mean, I'm from a different country, so
No, I think like, cause I be looking like, damn, it ain't really about who got money. When you go to Europe, when you go to China, when you go to these countries, they like when you look at the statistics, let's look at the statistics. And this just not me going off of my experience. This is me like, damn, the Americans got the most of highest divorce rates.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
'Cause we
not
don't
even
have no
close.
morals.
Yeah, exactly. So like, damn, why wouldn't an American say like, man, I should give me an international girl, because they give their man and treat them like this and appreciate more. I mean,
So
just-
this is what
I
I'm
just
saying.
feel like if like, damn, I go over here, I need to play my percentages. Like, man, Germany, they 30%. Okay, Switzerland.
Well, maybe you
Australia,
need to go
10%
over there
divorce
and
rate.
see what's going on.
10% divorce rate in Australia. Okay, New Zealand, 1%. Oh damn, I need to go to.
So let me ask this. So Paul
I'm
had
clouded. I don't know the reviews. I don't
Paul
know the
had
percentages.
two crazy moments that went viral and everyone was talking about them. And I want to get your opinion on it before we wrap up. So the first one ties into what we were just talking about. Paul says marriage is for old and poor people. That's it. He said it's only for old and poor people because people either marry because they need money and two incomes are better than one, or a woman needs money and she gets with this man, or for old people, meaning they're old and they don't want to die alone.
Oh.
Yeah. That was his opinion.
I said it.
Do you still believe that? Those are the only reasons?
What do you think?
What are your thoughts?
Well, all right. So look, when you get old, it's about like, all right, I need a partner. I want somebody to take me to the hospital. This is true love. We old. It ain't about sex no more. It's just about a partnership. When we poor, we can build. We can put stuff together to live. But that everything in the middle, like the gray, now we talking about the gray area. That gray area is shaky. That's that 70, 80% divorce rate, that middle age and all of that, where people will get emotional about one thing and be like, oh, I want to quit.
Yeah.
Everybody quick to quit.
I agree.
And so I feel like there's more sustainability amongst those two groups of people.
I mean, there is definitely more sustainability amongst those two groups of people because poor people can't afford to leave. And old people, the only way out is
They might as
dead,
well just go out. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But the middle area, I feel like what makes a marriage is God. What makes husband and wife is God. If you don't have God inside of your marriage, it's a business deal. I like you until I don't. In fact, I think, and I've heard this before, I had somebody on my podcast, I'm like, damn, that's a good idea. I think we should have renewals. If you ain't bringing God into the equation, hell, let's do just like the NBA. I'm gonna give you, let's do a 1 year. Okay, you did good this 1 year. Let's check out 5 years. You did good these 5 years. Let's do another 5 years. Oh, that 5 years. Let's see what 10 years looks like.
I've heard of this.
If we're even gonna renew. Because honestly, I feel like if you have the consequence of, hey, just so you know, we're gonna give this a shot. People try more. People get into marriage and they quit. They give up on themselves. They give up on their partner. They gain 100 pounds or 50 pounds or 60 pounds, whatever that looks like. Then they only start paying attention to the kids. Then when the kids get up and leave, I'm in the house with you and I really don't even like you. In fact, I don't even know if I know you anymore. So now I'm in this relationship with a stranger in the house. We don't even cuddle in the bed anymore. And we've let so much lack of communication and resentment build between us that there's so much space between us. You could damn near be in different states, but you're under the same roof. So it's really weird. There's so many different things that happen inside of relationships and in marriages. And I think that if you are intentional about like checkpoints, one of the things that I believe in, got this from, I heard it on my podcast, but my parents are like this too. I've never seen my parents fight in my life. I've never seen them argue, not one single time. They are both almost 70 years old. They are the goats of relationship. I've learned everything from the two of them. And that has a downside too, because I never learned to repair. So I never knew how, like if I was like, I'm fighting, oh my God, we're going to end. This is not normal, all of that. But that's a different story for a different day. Anyway, go on dates once a month. Get dressed up. You could go in the house, you could go to your favorite restaurant, you could do whatever you want to do. You could go to the pool house, you could do whatever. And on this date, this is where the gloves are off with love, meaning no one can get mad, but I can say everything to you where I need to see differences from what's happening. If you're not as affectionate as I need you to be, and I don't have to say it in the perfect way, although ladies, I would suggest being a little bit sensitive, especially if you have a masculine man, because masculine men have egos and then things are fragile, whether they'll say it or not. So that being said, you gotta say all the things, get it off your chest. Baby, I'm feeling insecure because you don't slap my booty the same way. Or baby, I'm feeling insecure because XYZ. And also, don't shame or wrong your partner. This is not where you say you're doing this wrong. This is, think about what are they doing wrong? Okay, how does that make me feel? Oh, I feel undesired. I feel disrespected. I feel unacknowledged. I feel overwhelmed. Whatever those things are, you express them to your partner. You are not allowed to fight. Sometimes these conversations are hurtful. Okay, sometimes these conversations might want to send you off the deep end to be like, well, should I even be in this relationship if this is all the things that they say that I want? Yes, you should, because there's a thing inside of relationships called disillusionment. And disillusionment is this thing where when we first start dating, we have this illusion of the person. And they are like, oh my God, I love this person. This is absolutely amazing. How did I even luck out? Ooh, God did his big one for me. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so what starts to happen is as you start to know this person even more, now I start to see your flaws. And when I see your flaws, I'm like, oh, hold up. Now I'm not disillusioned anymore. I'm disillusioned. I don't have the illusion of you anymore. I actually see you for what it is. And in this moment, which happens, by the way, in your relationship multiple times throughout your relationship, you can either lean in, like you said earlier, and say, ooh, this is not really something that I like, but why is that? The truth is it was probably there the entire time, but you had on rose-colored glasses, so you didn't want to see it. Or you could quit. And most people quit in the place of disillusionment. Most people quit because there's a new flaw that came up that you didn't communicate about. Now it built resentment, and now you don't like your partner anymore. When the truth is, if you just would have said how you felt on your date night, that needs to happen once a month. If you would have just got it off your chest on your date night when you know you're not allowed to fight. In fact, you should go home and get it in. You should love each other. No space. Another thing Dr. Gottman says is if you are mad, you can go to sleep mad, but your toes have to touch. There has to be some sort of connection, because if there's no connection, there's space for space. If there's space for space, you don't know what's creeping in. Is it resentment? Is it hate? Is it anger? Is it projection? Is it deflection? All of these things start to creep in. So there has to be a point of connection. I don't gotta like you, but I'm gonna touch my toe to you. You know? You gonna put your big toe up to my big toe, and you gonna be on your side of the bed, I'm gonna be on my side of the bed, because disillusionment is real. These things are actually happening in relationships. So I think that marriage is a beautiful thing if you're willing to do the work, but that's the work that nobody wants to talk about. The work is not, let's get sexy and go out on a date. The work is that emotional regulation when the dragon wants to come out. And me personally, I start to feel my neck getting hot when I'm triggered. And I really, in my mind, don't say the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't say the second thing that comes to your mind. Think of a third thing that can come to your mind. Because the first thing, you're going to be broke up or divorced. The second thing, you're going to be in the doghouse sleeping on the couch. And the third thing, you know what? I actually like the way that I actually feel disrespected or whatever that may be. Do you want an example of what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, let's say, can I use him as an example? Can I use you as an example?
Yeah.
Let's say we're dating, right? We're in a relationship. And when we go out, you see a woman. And when you see this woman, you break your neck to look at her. Now, all of that.
Okay.
Now, in this moment, most women will be like, Negro, if you don't stop looking at that girl, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, right? The second thing that comes to my mind is, damn, why do you have to look at her like that? But if I think about what's the third thing, I could say, baby, I understand that you're a man and it's normal for you to look at women, but when you break your neck like that, I feel disrespected and a little insecure. Can you change the way maybe that?
All right, so listen to this. All right. I had the
That's good. That's good.
All right, so what's breaking your neck? So like, all right. Is that breaking your neck?
Nah, that ain't breaking your neck. Nah, that's like aware. You just looking next to you. That's breaking your neck. Go home. Bye, Roger.
Bye, Roger.
So y'all together, he do this?
Oh, yeah.
That's too much.
That's too much.
That's too much.
Like, how many seconds he get? What if he do this?
No. You better find a way to stretch and turn around.
That's 1 second though.
Don't break your neck. Nah.
Yeah.
That's 1 second though.
Do a twirl.
That's too much. Yeah.
Twirl or
1
something.
second, he can't get.
Nah.
No. What is? I can't with you.
No, I thought somebody was shooting.
I'm done. Absolutely not.
Twirl.
Absolutely
that's
not.
crazy. All right.
This is the same person who said if we were all out at dinner or like at a party, right? And he said, let's say there was no seats available.
Yeah.
Pretend we were together. I'm his girl. I walk in. There was no seats available though. And another girl needed a seat. So she sat on his lap.
Oh.
He's like, is that cheating? Is that wrong? What is your opinion? I don't know that
said
it's cheating.
this.
Yeah, you said this with Carlos Miller on the podcast.
I said if there's no seats.
She sat on your lap. Is that cheating?
and I'm with my
No, your girl is not there, but she ends up walking in and seeing you. Is that wrong?
Oh yeah, just sit right here. You good?
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, no.
Like 30
my
30
man.
How many seconds?
You don't get no seconds.
Yeah.
There won't be no women sitting on your lap because this is the thing. This is what men don't. Men, I have to tell y'all something. I gotta say this. I gotta get this off my chest. Okay,
Get it off.
I gotta, and not that I'm going through this, but I feel like there's a lot of men that just don't know this. Okay, women are catty. We are mean and we are terrible. And did you know that if you allow another woman to come sit on your lap, what you're really gonna do is if you double tap a photo on Instagram, don't like no sexy photos on Instagram, okay? What happens is that girl whose photo you liked, she's screenshotting that you liked their photo and she's putting it in her girl's trap where we can all talk about how thirsty you are. Y'all men don't know that you are over here looking thirsty as men and the women are being disrespected because now it's giving the power to the women to now be able to say, ooh, her man was over here liking all my stuff. Ooh, didn't you see how he broke his neck? Oh, I sat on his lap, girl, when there was no chairs available. Now you've put yourself in a position, men, to look thirsty and your girl to be disrespected. So just don't do it. If you like it in your mind.
Okay.
No, literally.
Keep scrolling.
And even Paul, like he commented on this girl's picture one time, and he put hi, and people were just sending it around, screenshotting it. I'm like, what?
What was the photo?
It was just a cute girl, like she was a vibe.
That was
cute.
the comment. Hi.
And he was just like hi with a hard eye or something.
Not a hard eye.
It wasn't no hard. I wasn't. It was just like
and
hi.
everyone's sending it, and I'm like,
Nah.
this
It was just
crazy.
high. It was high.
It was high.
What was the
H.I.
photo? What was the photo?
She was like
still-
sexy out.
She didn't have no bikini on.
But she was sexy out.
Like skin out?
Skin.
Nah, she was just cool. She was cool.
And then when I said it, he was like, she was cool.
I don't know if I said hi. It was just hi.
It was just
She
hi.
said
It was
hi to
so-
me, I thought. And I
No,
just said hi.
she didn't.
That's
No.
crazy. That's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
No.
It was crazy.
Well, you single, so you can do it.
Yeah,
you single,
exactly.
you can
If
do it.
she
you want.
said hi,
But when in a
and I said
relationship-
hi, what is that?
Thirst.
She said hi, and I said
And you
hi.
don't think she sent that to everyone and said, she didn't say hi.
If I put the hard eyes or the hearts, I just said
Don't
hi.
put no heart. If my
People
man
be hitting me
ever-
all the time saying hello.
Put a hard eyes on another picture.
Listen,
That's
listen.
so out of control.
No, listen. People hit me all the time, DM and say hi, hello, or like I get texts from numbers I don't have locked in, and they'll say hi, hello, and I'll just be like hi. I don't give them nothing. I just say hi or hello.
So you
Wow.
And
decided,
if you don't tell me who it is, because I don't know who I meet
so you commented on the picture though.
I didn't know that everybody could see that either.
Because he don't know how to use the phone for real. So he be like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I be teaching him how to do everything. So he just put, so I had to tell him, because I'm like, Paul, everyone is saying this. Like, you just put it hi. Like,
I
he'll
thought
do
she
things
DM'd
publicly.
me and I was just saying hi back.
No, that's how he be tripping. So I had to tell him, like, Paul, you know, everyone can
Don't
see
have
this.
these girls out here making you look thirsty, Paul.
No, I never look thirsty.
I
I'm
mean,
never
Paul.
thirsty. Never.
No, it's even better. If
It
you
ain't
got
nobody-
the blue check, it's even better.
No, it ain't
Yeah.
no girl to say, because I'm the least thirstiest. I'm the least thirstiest.
I'm the
Like,
least
I
thirstiest.
ignore so many
Okay.
They be
we
like,
have
damn,
one
he
more
said
question.
hi, and then I said hello, what you doing? He didn't say nothing. Like,
I will say that Paul is very unresponsive. Like he
I'm very
responds to me,
unresponsive.
but like he doesn't
attractive.
really respond to a lot of people. I
I'm
will
very
say that.
unresponsive.
Yeah, we love that as women.
Yeah, a man who's unresponsive is top tier.
It's
Yeah,
like-
if any woman could get into the inbox of my man and my man is responding,
Ugh.
throw him away.
Throw him away. You can have him.
You
Hell
can
no.
have. He's
Have
yours.
him.
Hell no.
That's horrible. That's no. Okay, so and I just want to say this: you're so absolutely right about saying women are catty and
They're
mean
terrible.
because men don't understand the power you're giving another woman.
Yeah.
As soon as you give her any attention, any flavor, her favorite thing is to be like, "That's why her man was on me. He would I could have her man if I wanted him. I don't even want this man, but I could have him. She
Period.
looks stupid." And all her homegirls and everyone. So what you're doing is you're allowing other women to disrespect your girl.
Yep.
And that's when I really feel like, oh, you got me effed up. Like like, you have me looking crazy. And they're all in the group chat like, she looks dumb because her man wants me. I was out. He paid for my drink. He opened my seat. He did this. He said what was up to me. Like, trust me, that happens all the time. And that's why women, we feel away. Because we're like, damn, you making me look like my man is accessible to anybody. What I have should not be accessible to anybody else, because me and you supposed to be locked in. Just how as a woman, you wouldn't want me to be accessible to every man that walks in, give him hugs, say what's the, you don't want that. A woman feels the same exact way. And as a woman, it's even worse because they are going to run your shit down through the mud. They tell it everybody.
We don't even hug the same anymore when we got our man.
Yeah, for sure.
It used to be like full-blown hug.
Yeah, for sure.
Hug,
what's up?
one
side,
arm.
yeah, one arm side, barely
There's
that.
rules. There's rules to the game.
And don't even be doing the most. But a man, you can't be doing all of that either, because it's too much.
Agreed.
All right, y'all got y'all one off. I will tell y'all this.
Go ahead.
We should wrap up.
Yes, go
By
ahead.
the way, your doctor, you've been a great therapist for me today. I appreciate that.
For real. You have.
I've learned something. I look at things different, in a different light.
Really, from this conversation?
Yeah, from this conversation.
Wow, that's
for sure.
powerful.
Like,
That's
it was
good.
Powerful. It was powerful. But I do know that you and her, y'all chameleons. Y'all chameleons. Y'all say one thing, but I know. I done seen y'all before.
What does that mean?
No, he's
We're gonna wrap it up like that.
No, don't do that. Don't
No,
do
I was
that.
just playing. But y'all was dope. No, you was dope.
Super
Definitely
great
a
guest.
therapist for tonight. I learned a lot tonight, and I'm putting different things in perspective because of this conversation. So I appreciate that.
I love that. Thank you for that.
was a hug.
Seriously. Thank you. And thank you for breaking down things. And I feel like some things can feel silly to ask, but I feel like there's a lot of people, even Paul, like understanding narcissism and this and that. Like, we just sometimes don't get what it really means. And we need that, like even gaslighting or love bombing. Like, it's said so much, but what really is it? So I appreciate you breaking that down for us. It's been really real. Thank you. I really enjoyed this episode a lot.
Yeah, so give a shout out, talk
Yes.
about your podcast
Yes,
and what you got
please.
going, because she's dope. Y'all need to hear her words
Yes.
of wisdom. Talk about it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Of course.
Well, you guys can find me at It's Giving Podcast or Ms. Sarah Fontenot, MSSarahFontenot, or MsSarahFontenot.com. And then it's Giving or Ms. Sarah Fontenot. Just Google, you'll find us
And
on
we'll
every
add it.
platform. Yeah,
We'll add it in for you guys. It will be in the in the bio of everything, so you can just access
Make sure
it
you
easily.
like, subscribe.
Yes,
Her
please.
podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, Truth After Dark, YouTube, all the other avenues. that we
Yeah,
got.
all social media platforms, all of it. Same with Dr. Sarah. Thank you again for coming.
Thank
We loved this. Thank you so
This
much.
was very therapeutic.
Yeah, it was. It was a good episode. I really loved this.
This is
Thank
a
you.
great change of pace.
Yeah, we needed this. We had
We
Kevin
needed
Gates,
this.
then we had Mandy and Guap, and this was like the perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect combo.
yeah, we needed this one. Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you guys.
much.
Thank you so much. Yay.
This is the Taking Over the Game. All right, everybody. Welcome to Truth After Dark.
Do you think that men or women are more toxic?